First thing I want to do, I think, is talk to Anders. Oh, I forgot to get the board. Oh, it's fine.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
I've been looking everywhere for you, Miss Eyre. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
What is it now?
Is there something you want, Bowden?
I came to deliver this to you. The last of the proceeds from all that treasure you found in the deep roads. It seems your friend Varric found a buyer after all, yes? Quite well done.
I recall Varric saying there would be more.
There was, in fact, but your mother took some for the mansion. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home.
I don't think it would be Hawk's decision. Hawk would be like,
I shall serve you faithfully.
no.
It is good to know he is safe.
Yeah, I feel like Hawk only wants them to be in the house, like live with them, only so that she can like use them for their what they get, what they provide. You know what I mean? She doesn't actually care for them. However, like my previous Hawk, my first playthrough, where she was nice and also hilarious, I feel like she would be like, yeah, why not? It's fine. As long as they're useful.
I assume he'll pitch in, just like you.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on him so his enchantments don't do any damage. I promise you that. I'll leave you to your adventures. Your mother asks that you return to the mansion when you have a chance.
Yeah, well, you see, I want to talk to Anders, so, and I need to go back because I forgot to get my party. I'm smart. Yes, let's just go out without anyone. That'll work quite well. So
Maybe I should find a nicer place.
So, Anders, I will say, I have a place that you could visit time to time, if you know what I mean. It's quite nice. I should shut up, like, please. Take away my ability to speak. Anders!
Don't come running to me next time you pick up one of these diseases.
Isn't that the point of magic?
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
You need a safer place.
Don't tell me these things. I might have to lock you up to keep them off you.
Sweetheart, I'm not letting anyone lock me up. You included. The Knight Commander is out of control.
It's got me so
All the wrong
hard.
people have been talking about it. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
I'll keep you safe.
If they want you, they'll have to come through me.
Just being with me puts you at risk.
Good.
The Knight Commander has declared supporting apostates a hanging offense. The thought of them hurting you, everything I've done to control this. I don't care. I would drown us in blood to keep you safe.
I'm gonna throw up in a good way. You're so romantic.
You don't think we should start with flowers? Jewelry?
If that's the man you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. There will be more violence. I know that. If you tie yourself to me, I'll only hurt you.
I can't let you go.
Nothing would hurt as much as losing you.
You don't want to do this. I have no control around you. You could have a normal life. You don't want to be with an apostate.
I do.
Don't tempt
No,
me.
you're...
Not
Don't
unless you're
tempt
ready
me?
for what that means.
What do Oh my god. I just started Dragonage because I was playing Lost Ark. That is quite a start to Dragonage, making me blush already. What the fuck? Anders, stop it. Stop it. So, I'm doing an evil playthrough where he's like... not... where my character is not very nice, but...
You know, there's one in the Lowtown market with a litter of kittens ready to wean.
You don't pay attention to Templars, Qunari, or politics, but you notice kittens.
Templars, Qunari, and politics don't meow and attack your feet when you're buying food.
Are there any tabbies? I'd like a tabby.
I have a tabby. I have two. Anyways. I'm just being rude to everyone. I'm anti-mage, but I'm gonna romance a mage! I'm just saying. Don't I have to talk to people? I've been playing Mass Effect. No, not Mass Effect. Dark Souls. Those are two completely different games. Wow, I am great at talking. Yeah, you know, we all know who I'm gonna be simping for. The aliens. I've seen pictures. They are quite sexy. And oh my god. Talk to Meryl.
Have you heard from your sister? Is she settling in all right with the circle?
Why so concerned?
I thought you and Bethany didn't get along. Why are you worrying over her?
We don't get
I'd be
along
terrified
either.
in her shoes, surrounded by strangers, watched all the time. We didn't always
I
agree,
can
but
make
she's
it
a
so you
sweet
can get
girl.
watched.
I would never wish that fate on anyone.
Exactly why I take her everywhere I go. I just want her to not like me. Oh god, I'm realizing I'm doing this and the final boss is gonna be hard. Because the mages will probably leave my side. You know, it's fine. I know there's an
I
ad
haven't heard
run.
from her.
I'm sure she's fine. She's strong. If anyone can get through this, she can. Don't blame yourself.
If I don't, who will? See, I'm not gonna choose this because she doesn't blame the Templars. She sides with them.
Someone's got to blame me. Other than my mother, I mean.
I'm sure your mother doesn't blame you. Things will be all right. Somehow.
Because we started at 2, I want to just talk to people. We also need to get Sebastian, so I'll do that soon. Hey, sexy.
Still marinating your insides. Have to keep old age at bay somehow. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
Give it up.
You're wasting your time. Castillon probably doesn't care anymore.
I retrieved it. It would be mine if not for those rotten storms. I
Yeah,
just thought
storms,
I'd
sure.
let you know that I may soon be taking you up on that offer of help.
We'll see.
Talk to me when the time comes.
If I learn anything new, you'll be the first to hear about it.
Hot. Now we need to
Did
talk.
Danish honestly not recognize the difference between demons and beneficial spirits?
We've never thought of the Fade as the home of our gods. It is another realm, Another people's home. No different or more foreign than, say, Ozama.
But have you never studied the types of demons? They break down very clearly into different sins.
Spirits differ from each other. Just as you and Hawk and Isabella are all human. More or less.
My mother used to say that there are a lot more mages now than she was a child. I think it's the delirium in the water.
What? Or maybe, just maybe, your mother wasn't around mages. I know, mind blown. Truly.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk.
Isn't
You
Blondie
made it into Hightown.
Anders?
I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
I want the title.
I'd make a good noble, don't you think?
If anyone could handle a life of sitting on their butt all day eating bonbons, Hawk, it's you. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down.
No.
Good to hear you're sticking around.
I can never leave you now. I might leave eventually.
Nothing's been set in stone.
You're keeping
Oh,
your options
shit.
open. That's unusually rational for you, Hawk. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
Oh, we shall. Not the rivalry. He didn't like the fact that I want to be noble or and thief, I guess. I don't. Kind of cringe.
You never come to the alienage, Ferris.
I don't live in the alienage.
Don't you care about the plight of our people? Not even a little bit.
I don't need to visit the alienage to know what they suffer. I know it better than you.
I've lived there for years. I see it firsthand.
And I lived it.
Oh. My PC volume is at 86 right now or something. Hey, Sebby.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawk, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
My... Hawk? We were just talking about you.
I noticed. Don't let me stop you. Is there a problem?
Is the Flint Company bothering you again?
I have no complaint with your work. I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
My god. I think I killed a Harriman.
Did Lord Harriman die violently? About 3 years ago.
I won't ask how you know that.
I had heard he was murdered. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money, power. It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
They should pay for their crimes.
Unless I
Agreed.
understand why they did this, any revenge I take will be hollow. I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
You're not subtle.
Fine. But don't think you're my top priority.
Thank you, Hawk. Having you by my side will stay anyone's hand. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
The hero of Ferelden? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna read this. This is for my hero. Ferelden. Oh my god. The hero Ferelden belonged to the Circle of Magi in Ferelden and resided in the Tower of at Lake Galahad. For most of her life, First Enchanter Irving recommended the hero to the Grey Warden Commander Duncan. Shortly after the hero's heroine, Duncan recruited her into the order. The armies the hero had raised killed the Archdemon. With the Archdemon gone, the Darkspawn ranks broke and the horde was easily routed. After ending the Blight, hero Ferelden took up the mantle of Warden Commander and began the task of rebuilding the order in Ferelden. Oh my god! Holy Willy. Okay, this I want to know because I wonder what happened after the circle. Knight Captain Cohen was one of the few Templars to survive the incident at the Circle of Magi in Ferelden. The possessed blood mage Alder took over the tower, and in his madness, he filled it with summoned demons and abominations. One was imprisoned, tortured, and forced to watch the slaughter of his fellow Templars. The ordeal shook him, and he emerged from it convinced that even Templars fail to see how dangerous mages can be. After Cohen returned to his duties, it became clear that he would go to the lengths to enforce the Chantry's rule. His zeal troubled Knight Commander Gregor. He feared it unwise to let Cohen watch over the men and women who deemed responsible for his torment. Gregor sent Cohen to serve under Knight Commander Meredith in Kirkwall, and Meredith found Cohen's view of mages similar to her own. Of her company only, Cohen has seen mages' potentially terrifying power firsthand, and she believed he could influence the other Templars' views. Consequently, Cohen rose quickly through the ranks to become Knight Captain and Meredith's second in command. I didn't know he was second in command. What? Good for you, Cohen. Hell yeah. Magic is a tool, same as a bow or sword. Would you cut off a child's hands to ensure he never was born in anger? Anders has the rocky history with the Circle of Magi, taken from his family when talents first manifested. Anders was still a boy the first time he ran away from the circle, recaptured and returned dozens of times. Anders was still considered only a reckless scamp by First Enchanter Irving, who thought his easy temper and sense of humor made him no true threat. But during his final escape, Anders befriended the Warden Commander of Amaranthine and accepted and offered to become a Grey Warden, also known as my Warden. Oh my gosh! Life as a warden changed him, introducing him to the free fade spirit called Justice, who slowly convinced Anders to turn his attention beyond his personal suffering. Infused with Justice's fever, Anders offered to merge with the spirit in the name of mage freedom, starting them both down a dangerous path that turned the purity of justice into an unthinking hatred of vengeance. That's because Anders had anger, I guess. In the past 3 years, Anders has become more repulsive, verging on paranoid. When not with the champion, he spends his time among the Ferelden refugees in Darktown, healing their ills and counting on their loyalty to protect him from curious Templars. After his friend Carlos made Tranquil, then killed, Anders was convinced that Chantry's entire structure must be overturned to free mages completely from their control. He had joined a group of like-minded apostates who were slowly wearing away a Kirkwall circle by helping other mages escape. The spirit of vengeance inside him has manifested more strongly, making it nearly impossible for him to control himself when fighting Templars. Oh no. That ain't good. Is my light making me look like a little bit too pale? I mean, I know I'm pale, but I feel like my lighting will be a little bit better once my lights arrive. Okay. Royal Archer. Let me do this stuff first. Hell yeah. Okay.
We're here to serve the maker, sir. What are you here for?
Excuse you. God, it's assuming stuff. Ugh. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna go to Hightown and go home. Oh yeah, I need to talk to Fenris. I forgot. I forgot Fenris. Shit. You know what?
The Chantry is...
If I say no, will you attempt to convert me?
Many elves believe in the Maker. I ask only because I wonder if your experiences soured your faith.
My faith was never strong. It's difficult for a slave to have faith in someone who abandoned them.
The Maker didn't enslave you, Fenris.
He didn't help me much either.
He didn't help!
Here free. Perhaps he helped you more than you think.
Okay. You know, I feel like Hawk, I feel like she believes in the Maker. She's probably gonna be like the only character who does, because the hero of Ferelden didn't believe in Maker. And at the moment, my future Inquisitor definitely does not. We haven't met her yet, though.
Is so clean. Does someone wash it for you?
Don't wash it for me. Okay, let's do this, besties. Wow. It's so nice. I kind of zoned out for a second. We'll be honest. Oh, hi, Aveline. I don't like you.
You've settled in nicely.
I mean, what?
I
You
deserve
said
it.
that.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
What does it know?
Things are busy, Aveline. What's your point?
Yes, good. Use that tone on him and get him out of my hair. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related.
Oh,
if you're gonna be picky, the common thread in most of the trouble is you.
Rude.
What can I do that you can't?
Well, I would never say as much, but... he keeps asking for you. Maybe just showing up will calm him down. He's in the gallows. If it leads somewhere real, I'll take it off your plate. Anything to shut him up.
Please.
I like the doggy.
Oh my gosh.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Oh my gosh. That is so cute.
Ruff, 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 ruff. looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe
Agreed.
Some Mabari speak from our time at the hero of Ferelden's camp.
I have questions. How? The dog died. I killed it with a knife. What?
Hey, look. A partially burned page from Anders' manifesto.
From Anders fucking what?
Wish Vodan would clean the fireplace. Says it reminds him of a mine shaft. Wish Vodan would clean the fireplace.
That's the way. I love how if you like are mean, the way your character will reply in a certain way, and I love it.
Is that Isabella? Who carves that into a stairwell?
Oh god, I don't think I want to know. Okay. We have a lot of letters. Greetings, I hope this letter finds you well. I've often thought of you in the past 3 years. Without your kindness, my funeral would have been long, and so too slavers. Instead, he has thrived, began to master his magic. But now his nightmares have caught up with him, and neither the keeper nor the first enchanter know how to help. I don't know where else to turn. Please come to my home in the alienage. I will be waiting to speak with you. Thank you for the compassion you have shown. Yeah, about that. I can't wait to do this quest though, because it's gonna go really badly. And I can't wait. To Hawk. It's been years, and the circle has yet to find a way to help me. I've seen the way the Templars look at me. I know that they want to undergo the rite of tranquility. If something doesn't change soon, they will force it upon me. I try to keep myself under control, but it's difficult. The nightmares are coming more frequently. They seem so real. I can't help thinking that Delos would have had an answer for this. Well, I didn't send you there, so... yeah. Doing inadequate. Flag flying at half-mast. Does your soldier not stand to attention? Does your dwarves shy away from the deep roads? Come to Jorman. Opposite care. I'm not gonna attempt that. I know I'm gonna say it wrong. But don't forget about the last section of this entire thing. Be the man other men want to be. Be the man you deserve to be. Yikes. But Sarah Hawk, I feel I must apologize. You did what you had to when you turned over to the guards. You saved my daughter, and I should have been more thankful. The has been difficult. We left Kirkwall behind, but my poor girl now thinks every man is a monster. Guy. You know what? That's... I mean... good for her, honestly. Good for her for thinking. I'm Lord Edgem Fall... oh, Stark... okay. I am Lord Edgem Falk of Starkhaven. I have faith in the Maker and Andraste, his beloved prophet, and I must bring this matter of urgent business to you. Years ago, I served the office of Fenscow. I'm gonna say it is so fucking wrong. The royal family of Starkhaven. Sadly, they have been deposed. Oh. I said that right. I read that as disposed as for a second. I said deposed, but then I was like, wait, does that say disposed? No, it does not. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Out by a foul usurper, I represent His Royal Highness Prince Corbinian Vale. Bow. Wow, guys, English cannot speak it. It's my first and only language. Can't speak it though. French is my second. Also can't speak it. I know one word in it because my teacher was bad. Literally. Like, I took French 3 years. Guess what I only know? I only know how to say bonjour. It's quite embarrassing. Anyway, I'm just saying, I only know how to say bonjour. The true heir to the throne, and with your help make her willing, we will see him wear the crown of Starkhaven once more. Wow. Can I make it happen? Because that would be great. I feel like that would be bad. You know what I mean? His Highness has a fortune of 11... I almost said 11. 11,000 sovereigns. Oh my god, yes. 11? I mean, I guess that's a unique way to say 11. My English today. His Highness has a fortune of 11,000 sovereigns locked away in the vaults of the Royal Bank of Antiva. With access to his fortune, he can raise an army to retake the throne, but it is too dangerous for His Highness to simply withdraw the funds himself. This is why we require your assistance and discretion. Simply send me the details of the open bank account. In Kirkwall, I'll arrange that the funds are transferred to you. My king will then contact you to retrieve his fortune, leaving you with a hefty reward. I must warn you that Antivans will not consider the account viable if it contains less than 100 sovereigns. Please observe the utmost covenant, whatever. Yeah, okay. Confidentiality. That, yeah, that one. Lothering. Hawk. Heard you walk out to the free marches. Don't know why you bothered, but I suppose it's better than Orlais. Got spiders up there, big ones. Couldn't swing a dead cat round without hitting a giant spider, but the bites drove him off. Major dark days ahead. Mark my words, a man can't even cover his blighted land with poisonous traps. Is this Elden Dragon Ring too? I'm gonna call it that now. Elden Dragon Ring 2? Best game. I don't see the issue. We clearly die a lot in this too. Hi Con, how are you? Payment is not 2 months late. There interest occurs, as you well aware. You will find yourself far from a status when the last payment is made. Think. No bet or card sharp or numbers runner in Kirkwall will deal with you. I certainly hope the matter attended to before steps are taken. Let us avoid further unpleasantries. Unpleasantness. Look, game 1. I don't. Oh wait, this is for game 1. Why am I getting a letter for game 1? He doesn't even live here. Why am I reading other people's letters? This feels wrong. This is like reading someone's diary. I hope you and the children are holding up. I'm so sorry about Carver. I remember the dear boy helping me trap rats in the cellar. The boy has taken too much from us. Thank the Major for the hero of Ferelden and the Grey Wardens. Oh my gosh. Every time the hero of Ferelden gets mentioned, I'd cry a little bit. Oh my gosh. Things are slowly getting back to normal in most parts of the country, but Lothering is gone for good. We had hoped to rebuild there, but the blight poisoned the land. It'll take decades for the earth to recover. It may never. Redcliffe is a nice place, and I'm starting to see it as home. The village saw some trouble during the blight, but it's recovering. Perhaps you could visit sometime. Please write me again, my dear. I wish to hear about your life in Kirkwall. Send my regards and find regards to the children. Okay. It's fine. It's the first time they actually addressed me by my name and not Hawk. Oh my god. Guys. It's the first time that it says Pickleberry. Yay! That was stupid. I'm sorry. But it says Pickleberry, not Hawk. Oh yeah. Dear Pickleberry, I hope this letter finds you well. My time in the circle has been bearable even after the Templars made a point of putting me through the harrowing as soon as I arrived. They thought I was at risk. Possession! Running away like father. Glad it's over with. I've started mentoring apprentices. I enjoy time with the children. Teaching them basic spells. One of them, Ella, has taken a shine to me. Adorable. That's not perfect to remind you the Templars are mostly polite, and I know they're just doing their jobs, but some hold extreme views. There's one creep named Sir Alaric who likes harassing mages, but I'll steer clear of him. I'm doing fine, don't worry about me. With love, Bethany. You know what? I think she can handle herself for that one, you know? She'll be fine. We don't want to take Anders because it's the mage thing, and then he'll hate me, and I'm trying to romance him. I can't tell him my opinions. Sebastian... do we bring Sebastian? What mages they look hot? Facts. Okay, so like, I feel like Varric won't like what I'm gonna do. He'll be like, this is bad, right? She'll probably think it's good, but we're not gonna take her. She's gonna hate what we're gonna do. He'll love it! Absolutely love it. I never brought him with me because I never played the DLC, so I think I will also bring him. Oh wait, I just realized that means they're all... So I like to have two that are distance and then one that isn't. You know what? We should be fine. I'm just gonna do this because I wanna... I forgot to talk to Fenris again! Oh my god. Colin, you should see some, like... some, mods I had in Skyrim. It made some outfits, like, really just... Especially the Archmage outfit for a woman. Oh my god. Did I save? I don't remember if I saved.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass.
Did you break Skyrim?
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Three years.
I'll answer your question in a second.
I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
Why am I getting romance music? She's the person I romance first ever in this game. I found her really hot. Can you guess why? So, I did in fact break Skyrim multiple times. Did I ever tell you about the time where I accidentally found an exploit? Because I did. With rings and necklaces. Found out that there was a glitch where you could put on multiple at a time. So I exported it. It was literally if it had a certain name, you could have it. You could wear like 20. You could wear unlimited amount. So let's just say I made it so I could insta-kill everything. I made it so I could insta-kill everything. And I also made it so I had really OP effects. Oh yeah, and certain armor, not armor, but like certain things, I made it so it also made it so anything I made in that game would be top tier quality. I, in fact, was never going to die. My armor, OP. My weapons, OP. You could not mess with me. I would kill you in 2 seconds. Because of this exploit. It was great. And then I made it worse because I installed mods to make it even more OP. I went over the top with this. It was fun. Belgian pickle. What happened? Are you sure?
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Denarius killed him.
I'm
Either way, if Denarius is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Yet.
Then this is the perfect time to track him down.
I'm not so certain. Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
An odd question.
Do you really not know?
My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost.
So
I shouldn't
sad.
trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You better walk.
You don't know who you were.
Fenris was the name Denarius bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
Let's keep it that way.
Then we needn't discuss it further.
Sorry, Fenris.
Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
I think he's drunk. I know, I want to hear it.
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I'd like that.
Let's see. You've heard of Saharan?
I just want to know.
The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Denarius during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
Sounds like fun. So it wasn't your choice.
You escaped only by chance.
That time, yes. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Denarius finally came for me.
Oh no. And you refused to go?
Whether you wanted to go or not, I assume.
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Denarius came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did.
Oh my god!
Killed them all.
That is so sad. What?
You gave up.
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Couldn't you have found other fog warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Denarius then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
Didn't Denarius stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Denarius was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
How well did you know these fog warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
Bro. He literally killed, like, basically he killed, people who took him in and helped him. All because I'm assuming the markings made it so that his master could control him. And because of that, he did that. And he looked down and realized, like, this is wrong. And he broke free of the chains and, like, started a new life.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Denarius as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
I don't see why you didn't kill him right there.
I wasn't running from him. Not at first.
What was he running from, though? I love the romance music. Oh,
about what
sorry.
happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
Not too much more.
Or maybe it means we just fight together.
You could be right. To you, Hawk. May I fight at your side for years to come.
The rivalry. Oh my gosh. I love Fenris. He's one of my favorite companions. I hated him like at first, but then I'm like, I don't know why. It was mainly because he actually didn't like me. He hated me my first playthrough. Like, okay. I don't have him with me. But, okay, so let's just pretend this is Fenris, okay? It was around here. Because I was siding with mages, I kept forgetting to not bring him with me. So. Do we want to bring this group? Okay. Okay, I wanna bring... Here's my thing. I wanna bring Anders, but I feel like I can't because I'm going to turn a child tranquil. Ugh! He gets mad at me if I turn him tranquil if he's in my party. But it's interesting if he's in my party, so I don't know what to do. I'm gonna regret this. Because it's gonna make him not like me at first. It's okay though, he loves me right now. So I think we'll be fine. It will only take away like 10%. We'll be fine.
Is that supposed to be Andraste's face on your crotch?
What?
That belt buckle thing.
I'm sorry?
My father had this armor commissioned when I took my vows as a brother.
I'm just not sure I'd want the maker seeing me shove his bride's head between my legs every morning.
I mean... Anders, you can shove your, face against Talk's legs if you want. That was uncalled for. That was so bad. I'm sorry I said that.
Why would anyone shop here instead of an actual store?
Why not?